Hello and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel in the first place. Today we have an Izuku X listener. It's Needy by Fiction Please on AO3. The link will be in the description. Go check them out, and let's go ahead and get into it. Well, what do you want to do? He smiled eagerly. I just want to spend time with you. You fought the blush that crept up your cheeks. Don't start getting mushy on me, Izuku. You all had been studying for the last couple hours, hanging out in your dorm. You both finished all the upcoming assignments due, so now you were just hanging out. I can't help it, listener. You've been so busy lately with school and work studies. We just haven't hung out in a while. I miss you. You looked away, shy smiles showing. It was true. You had turned to school to keep you busy, putting as much focus as possible into getting good grades. I miss you too, Izuku. He sighed, head leaning back, neck stretched to the ceiling. To be honest, all of this hero stuff is stressing me out. All I know is that being with you makes me feel 10 times better. I get that. Same, but like to you. You both chuckled. You scooted closer to him so you could face each other. I just always want to be close to you, physically or otherwise. You hummed, taking his hand. You could feel his eyes, watching your every move. Have I ever told you how I like your scars? You said while keeping your eyes on said scars. It was his turn to get flustered. His skin warmed under your touch. My scars? Yes, they're so sick to look at. And I think they just show how strong you are. You ended the statement with a stern nod, affirming how much you meant it. Thank you. Sometimes I get a little insecure about them, especially since there's no way to get rid of them. You shouldn't do that, even if you could. Plus, I think these— you moved your hand up his forearm, softly grazing the marks— are way cooler than the ones I have. You have scars? His eyes went back to yours, flicking between the two. Oh yeah, buddy, just didn't get them the same way you did. I guess they're more like stretch marks, but sometimes they look pretty similar to scars. His voice softened, hand taking yours, fiddling with your fingers. Can you show me? You finally looked up at him, slightly shocked. He stammered back. Unless that's weird or something, you don't have to. You laughed, shaking your head. It's not weird, it's just that most guys get grossed out, much less ask to see them. His cheeks flushed a deeper shade of red. Oh. You took your hand back and lifted your shirt, while slightly lowering your sweatpants, waistband by your hip. The darker tone marks shone. You returned your clothes to the original position before doing the same thing on your other side. You looked up to see Izuku's gentle gaze still attached to where you had exposed yourself. You chuckled awkwardly. You're probably regretting asking, huh? No. He turned, eyebrows creasing. No? Thank you for showing me. I don't understand how anyone could find that gross. It's just another part of you, and I love every part of you, even the ones that aren't your personal favorite. And look, I have them too. He smiled, lifting his sleeves to show the underside of his arm. When I started training, I went really hard, really fast, and now I have them. Your eyes widened. He interrupted you by leaning forward, lips connecting to yours. Your arms instinctively wrapped around his neck, fingers running through his soft hair. His hands moved to your hips, the exact spot that you showed him. You started to squirm, knowing what he was doing. His grip tightened, holding you firm. You gave in, feeling his thumb start to knead slow circles on your skin. You relaxed in his touch, giving one last peck before pulling away to catch your breath. I guess that's one way to shut me up. He laughed, face still red-toned. Suddenly, his demeanor changed, his features turning into more sadness. You grabbed his hand, slightly intertwining your fingers. What's wrong? I don't know, love. I just realized something, and I want to say, I'm sorry if I'm never enough for you. Enough for me? What are you talking about? Well, I know I'm not the manliest guy out there, and Kirishima says that people love manly men, and I know I tend to get wrapped up in my head sometimes. It probably seems like I never shut up, what with all my muttering. Before he could go any further, you interrupted. Are you joking? You're literally the best guy I could ask for. As far as the manly thing, I'm sure there are people out there who want that. But I think you're wonderful, just the way you are. And I love how sweet you are, so considerate, so caring, and so loving. He failed to meet your gaze. I love listening to you talk, listening to your ramblings, whether you realize you're doing it or not. There's nothing more I would want to do than spend my time hearing your voice. He looked up, eyes practically glittering at the sight of yours. Really? You mean that? Of course. In a blink of an eye, his face was snuggled in the nape of your neck, planting soft kisses. His voice was a whisper of a breath against you. Thank you for saying that, love. You ran your hands over his back, slowly massaging the tension in his shoulders. Speaking of, is there any reason why I've got a new nickname? I don't mind, just curious. His head moved so that it was sitting on your shoulder, his hair brushing against the side of your face. Love? You hummed a reply. It's perfect for you, don't you think? I chose it because you're the loveliest person I know. No one can compare. That's really nice, Izuku. You both stayed like that for a couple minutes, simply enjoying being in the other person's embrace. After, he sat back. Love, did I tell you about the pro hero that I met during patrols the other day? You shook your head no, smiling, knowing where he was going with this. He had the coolest quirk. You wouldn't believe how it worked. I wrote it all down in my notebook after. He reached over to grab it. Sure enough, the rest of the evening was spent with you listening to his in-depth rambles. There was nowhere in the world you'd rather have been. Alright, so that's the end of this one. I hope you enjoyed. Sorry I didn't post yesterday. Posting might be inconsistent because I am on my final week of school. Anyways, I hope you have a great rest of your day, night, whatever, and I hope to see you in the next one. Goodbye!